Searching podcasts for Dave, and one more time.
Welcome to the Dave and Juan podcast, where two friends share their thoughts on a variety of topics. But what if I told you that the introduction you just heard was actually written by an AI system? That's right. Our cutting-edge technology has analyzed past episodes and listener feedback to craft the perfect opening for our show. We're amazed by the results, and we're sure you will be too. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the next hour of conversation with your hosts. This is Dave and Juan, and you're listening to the future of podcasting.
And 3,
Number 2.
1. Peg that mic out there. Hi,
Hey.
man. Look at us. Those of you that aren't looking at the video,
Right.
shame on you,
Back
man.
on black, man.
Men in black,
Back
buddy.
in black.
Back in black, men in black. I don't know. We are the men in black. So anyway, hey, America, I'll tell you why, especially this week. Look at us.
That's right.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, man. You're welcome. Gratitude needs to be bestowed upon us.
Playing hurt today, man. Playing hurt
Are
today.
you?
Or not hurt, ill. Yeah, a little bit. Hi, everybody. How are you? I'm Dave.
I'm Juan.
And this is Dave and Juan.
More time.
Yes, thank you. Thank you kindly. And again, not that anybody cares, but yeah, I guess, I don't know if it's a bug. I don't know if it's allergies. We're in that golden time of the year where, right? I mean, we have oak trees everywhere, and it's just, but the other folks in my house over the past week or so have gone through, it's when you're sick, but you're not sick enough to like go to the doctor or anything, right? It's just, you just don't feel good, right?
Well, but it's that whole question of, can I do something? Do I sit around and relax and take care of myself? Or do I attempt and ultimately make myself feel worse?
Sitting around and taking care of yourself is always a good option. Always a good option. I know I have not been feeling well because, like the highlight to me, like, man, if I don't got to do anything during the day and I'm kind of feeling sick, later on at night, I'm going to pour myself a glass of wine or a couple of beers, and I'm just going to, and I couldn't even be like, I had like a beer last night. It was a Friday night. I normally be out. So, but yeah, it's one of those situations where you're sick enough to not really feel up to anything, but then not sick enough. You feel guilty, right?
Right. You don't feel bad enough to classify yourself as sick.
Although I am, and my wife has declared me sick.
So
and
there you go. So see, you're working you're injured, but it sounds like you're still performing at a high level.
Man, you know what? Thank you so much, man. If America only knew. Well, here's the deal. So and I also have to thread the needle here because my wife, and I don't know how yours handles when you're sick, right? And we come from different. We joked about this before, where we grew up. You kind of tough things out. It's just what it is. You went to the doctor if it was really, really bad. And my wife grew up a little different. Her mom's a nurse and stuff, and they're on stuff. So we've come at it with two different perspectives.
Yeah,
all this time.
I grew up. It's almost like the rebellion aspect, because if I was sick, if you dare throw up at my house when I was a kid, you were more likely to die from dehydration than the virus because you weren't getting anything to drink.
Really?
Forever. I can remember, getting a damp washcloth to just wipe off my lips and just trying to suck moisture out of that thing. My mom wouldn't give you couldn't eat for like 24 hours. You couldn't. Yeah, she'd freeze Coke or Sprite as ice, and that's what you could get, ice chips.
Well,
now my kids get sick, like, Go drink something so your mouth tastes better.
Yeah, I don't, and I guess it all depends on, I was going to say, well, good thing dehydration didn't exist back in those days, right?
Yeah.
And I guess it depends on how sick. Now, I'm not, thankfully, knock wood, yet
Yeah.
I'm not there, but my wife's take, it's interesting. I got different windows I know to deal with whenever I'm sick. In fact, sometimes I may not even be feeling well, but I'm not going to announce it because as soon as I do, we go through the first stage of my wife's concern level. Like there's a spectrum there, and she goes and she's on it. She's 1,000 questions, right? And sometimes when you don't feel good, you know what? You're not really into. Let me analyze exactly what I don't feel. Right? I don't know. How about blah? I feel blah. Is that a
Right. Yeah. I don't know I don't know what I feel. I just know I don't feel good.
if I go to the doctor and so I went to bed early last night and again, kind of sleeping in this morning and congested and stuff like that. And then she's like, did you take anything? Did you take anything? You're not feverish. You're not, I mean, she is like on it. Like the first, say 12 hours you're sick. Man, my wife's like an ICU nurse. It's like, you want to be like, okay, I'm good. I'm good. I'll let you know. Then it gets normal for about the next 12 to 24 hours. Then it's just like, hey, how you doing? Oh, I'm, right. And she knows this. Her window closes after about 2 or 3 days. So if you're sick beyond 2 or 3 days, she's like, really? Really? But you still feeling bad? And then you can just tell. You can just like, I'm sorry. I just, she might deny that. Maybe I'm off on the scale, but that's what we go from. We go from way too much to just about right to your butt needs to get up. All right. You need to
See,
be
I
better.
don't do my whole thing, and you work for yourself, so it's a little different. Whereas I always tell people for me to be sick enough to miss work, it's not that I don't want to miss work, it's that I don't want to take leave because I'm sick. So my philosophy is if I'm going to be miserable and feel like crap, then I'm going to go annoy somebody else. Yeah, I'm not going to go through this alone and
Like
use my vacation time.
Yeah. And think
The
about it. We changed, and they changed everything the last few years because everybody's so paranoid about the
mhm.
Rona, right? Everybody's, oh my God, you gotta, and because back in the day, dude, how often did you go to work with the flu? With man, you just bucked up. That's what you did. I mean,
Yeah,
just and I'm not even saying that's the way to be, but that's just how we were.
I worked at a hospital and had a kidney stone. And the doctor, well, we had a little clinic that we could go to, and so the nurse there, the first time I went, said, I think you have a kidney stone, so you need to go. And it was like at the end of the day, and said, you need to go to the emergency room. And so I went. Then the next day she called me on my cell phone to check on me, and I said, yeah, this is a kidney stone. And so how you feel? I said, okay. They put me on, and I gave her a list of medication. And she said, okay, well, what are you going to be out for a few days? I said, oh no, I'm here. And she said, Juan, you can't be at work on that kind of medication. I said,
pain,
well, I'm here.
pain pills. It was like pain.
Oh yeah, a lot of pain pills. And then after it wore off, then the kidney stone fired up again, and all of a sudden
Oh,
it's like, Jesus Christ, somebody please drive me home.
I'm gonna try. And those of you can't see me digging here in a bag, I might not be able to find it. So, and apologies to anybody out there. If it's a lot of women, probably, I don't know. If you've had kidney stones, you know what we're talking about. If it's
Yeah.
not, right? They say, and we know always to trust they, right? And of course, my SIRI is firing up again as I do
Yeah.
that. They say
And
that
by they, you mean a group of people,
a group of experts,
not just not just an individual who chooses to go
no,
by they.
no, a group of people will say that a kidney stone probably is the most pain a man is capable of feeling. Now we go back and forth, women, labor, it's hard. Look, you gotta give that up. You can't, it's hard to trump
No.
labor and
But my thing is
delivery.
always, you got a baby at the end of your pain.
That's right. That's right.
I got a piece of calcium built up.
Well, okay. So I'm not gonna dig to the bottom of this bag, but I know somewhere I'm carrying some pretty serious pain medications and something they give you for nausea, right? So after I had mine, right, and took it like a champ, right, they gave me it for just in case.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how many different bags I've been carrying. I don't know. I think we might have been even carrying briefcases back that window where we all carried
Yeah.
briefcases, and now we carry backpacks and computer bags. But I've never taken one. I've never had to, and I might get in trouble one day, I guess too. But it is a prescription, but I know it's old, man. It must be
Yeah.
10 years, 12 years. But I
Yes,
bet that
it's
stuff doesn't go
probably
bad.
not. I don't know. It's probably not as strong
All right, I'll
as
just
it
take two.
originally
All
was.
right,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just start self. But anyway, so we kind of went off on that. But
Yeah.
that's so up and at 'em right now, getting at it, and
Yeah.
yeah. But so you ever have an issue with that again?
No,
Just one. You were one and done,
one, but I tell you what, a couple of years after it, I felt a twinge in my back one morning.
and you will never not think about that.
Went straight to the doctor.
Oh, really? Okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, it's like no man, this is like death.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been. Yeah.
I had appendicitis instead.
Oh, well, there you go. There you go. So there you go, America. Sorry to start with,
Yeah.
the medical, but
Well, talking about medical though, so my company has changed insurance providers, and so when I started there, I had to change doctors, and I wasn't a big fan of the one that I went to. Not that I've been more than once, just for my annual physical. Um, so today I tried, or not today, a couple of weeks ago, I tried because I'm due for a physical. I tried to call and see if I could make an appointment with my old doctor. And I knew he was getting ready to retire, and he said, "No, he's not here anymore. So you got to get a new doctor." And I said, "Well, y'all just kick me over to somebody because it's like a big group."
Yeah.
They said, "No, just look at our website,
really,
and find somebody who's taking new patients." So I found, I'm looking through them. I see a Dr. Landry. I said, "Hey, man, I might be related to that dude. I'm gonna call him." His website said, that he was accepting new patients. So I called to schedule an appointment, and the person on the phone said, "Yep, he's accepting new patients." I said, "Well, good. I just need to come in for physical." Um, and said, "Okay, let me see his calendar." And when I tell you, said it with a voice that didn't even crack. He said, "Okay, his first appointment is in 2024." I said, "It's because this was, like a week." I said, "It's February 2023." Uh-huh.
uh-huh.
And I said, "Well, who's going to make an appointment to see a doctor a year in advance?"
Dude, don't get me started.
Look, I get it if you're not taking new patients, but yeah. I need an annual physical in 20.
And
Make
then,
that in about. I'll be busy in March of next year. So how about
okay,
June?
and let's be honest. I'm not going to give the name. I have a doctor. I have to see him typically once a year, only because that's how they renew your medicines. That's
Hmm.
how they get you, y'all. Once you, and I don't know, I'm not blaming big pharma, but I guess I kind of am. Once they get you taking something, because because you have to take something, and you don't get it right, you have to go back. It's like, yeah, I don't want to sound conspiratorial, but what's that old line? You can't cure something. If you cure something, you lose a patient,
Right.
right? So you got to keep, going back. But I'll end up in the doctor's office, kind of asking him and telling him stuff that I don't think he's aware of. And maybe it's because he's seeing people all day long, and I get it. But you shouldn't do it. But you can almost self-diagnose yourself these days,
Oh,
man. Like just get on. Yeah. Could be. Because
well, look how many ads there are. Ask your doctor about such and such a prescription.
it's on. Again, we're paying more attention to that these days. But exactly, like why I got to tell my doctor that?
Yeah.
Like why? Because they know that you can plant seeds in people's heads. It's just how it
Mhm.
is, man. I'll make you think you got something wrong with you that might just be called, I was joking with my mom about that the other day, and we've had this conversation joking about it enough. Hey, look, all of us, the older you get, that just comes with the territory, right? That's just all right. This hurts. Yep, supposed to. Right? This don't work like it did. This hurts. This and what happens when you go into the doctor? They spend 35 seconds with you.
Yeah.
All
Oh
right.
yeah. Yeah. You'll spend 2 hours in a waiting room.
Check
Three
check
people will go by, and it's like, gosh, you must be seeing me a lot quicker than them because you're not spending any time with me.
Yeah, mine spent a good bit of time. Yeah, but the funny thing is, like the last time I saw my doctor, and that was to get stitches out. That was when I had my stitches a while back, and we must have shot the breeze for like 15, 20 minutes, and it was nothing to do about medicine. It was all to do being able what his family's doing, and I'm
Yeah.
thinking to myself, I'm enjoying that we're spending time together. You know, I'm feeling I'm getting my money's worth, whatever. I just really, this is literally one, just you got the stitches out my leg. I'm good. But I'm thinking, who's sitting in that audience or that waiting room right now? Um, but you know, there you go. Complain about things we're not going to change. Not going to change.
Yeah,
So,
I had a trade show to attend the other day, and I don't know, about 5 or 6 hours. So you're standing up the whole time. You talk about things that hurt that didn't used to hurt. I was, I don't think I could have been in more pain had I run a marathon from just standing up all
come
day.
on,
Dude,
really?
I was like about to die.
I used to. Well, I did a lot of trade shows. So stretching my past where I did a lot of trade shows, and yeah, you realize, and especially some of these places you go to where it's like heavy union. Those are always the worst, man. Because if you're like back in the day, it was Chicago, might have been
Mm.
Vegas, whatever, and it's just it's all a scam. You had to run stuff through the union, and
Oh, they
you
wouldn't
could,
let you do. Wow.
and even to the point like we had to rent chairs. Man, they want to charge you like $50 a day per
Yeah.
chair to rent chairs. When you get out there for a 3-day conference, you'd end up renting that dang chair
Yeah.
because that's again first world problem, y'all. They weren't
Yeah.
asking us to dig ditches, but yeah, I remember trade show. We didn't have that many of them back in the day in South Lafourche. But I remember they had one at the Cutoff Youth Center, and I don't know where I was either in college or maybe I was working at the radio station at the time. And I can't even tell you who this is back in the days when there were, I guess, a lot of different businesses on the bayou. Like I said, it's kind of disheartening sometimes now. Last time I was there, looking how many places are closed, but and let me preface this is not a shot at chiropractors. Okay, I've been to chiropractors. And some people swear by them, rock and roll. Okay. But we were going through, and one of the booths there was a local chiropractor. And right across the walkway from him was a buddy of mine I knew in college who had insurance. He had his own insurance agency. And so we're talking, and then halfway through, because the guy in this, the chiropractor is doing some kind of spine, like I don't know what they're measuring, they're doing whatever. And my buddy looked at me and says, "Bro, all I can figure is everybody on the bayou must have a curved spine because that guy has not found one person that didn't need help all
Yeah.
day long."
Yeah, I go every now and then, and we've talked about this because mine is like doubly embarrassing because I'm embarrassed that I go to a chiropractor every now and then. But the name of the clinic is Go Chiro, spelled Geaux.
That's you all
Uh,
about that, bro. You all
yeah,
about that.
the but yeah, I tell you, you sit down with they put a little pad on you, a little vibrating thing that I could buy on Sharper Image if that's still there.
Mm-hmm.
I spent 30 minutes sitting in a chair that I could pay $5 to sit in at the mall. Just one of these big vibrating lounge chairs, and then it'll
Yep.
crack my neck. But it's like you said, they all, yeah, okay, yeah, 3 times a week for the next 2 months. Like, I'm proud, please.
No, but what they need to tell you is we'll treat you until your insurance says no.
That's what I
That's
was gonna say. They look up your insurance and tell you how many times your insurance will cover it, and that's your treatment plan.
And they weren't dumb back in the day. I remember I ended up with a chiropractor, I guess, after I was in an accident. And that was the other thing too. They were good marketing. They knew what they were doing. Like as soon as they were just like lawyers. They were, I don't want to call them ambulance chasers, but okay. Chiropractors were pretty much ambulance chasing too, man.
Oh yeah, yeah.
They were big on like, you got hit, you in a wreck.
Got a wreck. Got a twitch in my back and neck.
Yeah. And the most of the chiropractors, all the staff were just good looking young women. I don't know if you remember that. I know that's how it was in Thibodeau, and I'm pretty sure, Homa, pretty sure Thibodeau, it was almost like the pharmaceutical companies, right? And I guarantee you.
Yeah, the people who didn't get hired by the pharmaceutical companies.
And I'm not gonna lie. They probably encouraged some of those women. Y'all be sure to flirt with these young guys coming in. They got hurt on a boat, they got hurt in a car wreck, because these idiots are not going to come back. They're not going to keep an appointment, but if you flirt with them, they will. That's just a theory. I could be wrong, y'all.
Yeah.
I could.
Well, but to your friend's point about the whole, everybody's got
That's
problems.
funny. He
I
said the
think
entire body. The entire
right.
body must
It's
have a curved spine.
the chances of going to a chiropractor and not being diagnosed with any problem is probably equivalent to that of going to a car deal or car repair shop and saying, "Hey, can I get some air in my tire?" And they not find 10 things wrong with your car as they're putting air in the tire.
Yeah, I got a local shop now, and they're cool. Now here's the deal: I have spent enough money with them that I think they
Yeah.
respect. In other words, like, they don't look at me as, okay, we got to just nail this guy for everything we can nail him for because he doesn't come back. I mean, we got a lot of stuff that I've been through there, but yeah, they even know now when they send me. I get the text from them, and it's like your diagnostics are ready, and they even got pictures. Man, you got to scroll through them. Yeah, I always want to change that internal air filter. Right?
Yeah.
Like, really? I don't even know what that. Oh, it's going to be. Nah, sorry, leave that. How about you leave
Yeah.
that? How about you don't because the one time I let them change something on the inside, it rattled. That car rattled for like, then you got to go back, the next time you're there saying, "Hey, last time I was here, y'all put in a nice new rattle for me. I don't want to renew that policy on the rattle. Okay. Can you
Yeah, go ahead and pull that out.
Can you cancel whatever policy I bought to have the rattle inside the car, and we'll go from there?" But hey, man, people just trying to make a living, just trying to make a.
Well, let me tell you a story about people trying to make a living. So I don't
Wow.
know how I got on this mailing list, but apparently Nichols is putting together a, I don't know, 75th anniversary
Okay.
directory. I didn't even know it was the 75th anniversary of Nichols.
And
For
there
those
you
of
go.
you who aren't
Look at
familiar,
this. Look what I got.
Nichols, yeah,
Look at
there you
there.
go.
We didn't.
Nichols State
We didn't.
University, where
We
Dave
didn't
and I
plan that.
attended college and
Yeah, that's right.
met. Uh, and it's, hey, just call to confirm your information. That's it. All right. So one day I clicked on the number, and then it's, oh, now you need to input the number on the email. I said, well, I'm on my phone, and the email's in my phone. I'm not
Yeah.
making that effort to go back and forth. It was like a 12-digit number. So I guess it was, I don't know, Thursday or so. I had some time at the office, and I'm sitting there. I said, all right, I'm gonna do it. I just thought it was going to be, here's what we have as your contact information. Just press 1 to verify, press 2 to change. Nope. So you get a person on there who says, okay, and start going through it. And then it becomes like a darn interview. What was your favorite part of Nichols and all? And dude, you stick a microphone in my face and record. I'm talking. And then it's, oh, that's great. Would you mind? If we use this, and because there's going to be a digital version of it. I said, by
Not at
all
all.
means,
By all means.
yeah, just edit out any parts that I sounded stupid, and we're good. Okay, well, let me tell you what, go through, get your order in for the directory. And so she starts going and goes, okay, this one comes with, and so then I do this. I said, ma'am, you know what? I use my phone for my card information, and so I can't pull up the whole card number to give you over the phone. So can you just email it to me? Well, we can do a direct check, or we can do a direct check. I can even look up your routing number. I said, I don't know my
I can even look up your routing number.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Said I'm good, but thank you. So I'm trying to find this on my phone. The that when did I call? So hey, Mr. Kitty.
They got you.
All right, here it is. It's called No Reply at Publishing. Thank you for a recent phone call and request for additional product information. Well, the package 1, or it's called combo 4, membership in the Alumni Association, a hardbound book, a digital publication, a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, and a travel bag.
Hey, sign you up.
The low price of $484.98.
Is that all?
That's it.
Well, 484.
For $384, you can
Okay.
get it without the travel bag.
Okay. All right.
So if you want just the book, it's $300. But the digital one comes free.
The digital one comes
The
free.
digital version of it comes free. You get it comes free with the purchase of the hardbound book.
Oh, okay. They ain't giving a digital free. You got to
No,
buy.
right. To buy one, get one. So
That's
if you
like the, oh, you
just
buy one.
if you did your wife go to Nichols?
She did.
Okay, you and her could get a combo annual membership, and each a T-shirt for $125. Or if you just want a travel bag, it's $174. Or
Yeah.
y'all could get lifetime membership in
Oh, wait,
the
that's
in,
what
in
I
the
need.
alumni association
That's what I need.
for $500. Now
That's
they're
what
willing
we
to
need.
break that up into 2 easy credit card payments for you.
Man, look, like I said, everybody's trying to make a dollar.
Yeah.
Everybody's
I said, man, I'm 61 years old. If alumni dues are $35 a year, the chances of me making it to $500 worth of dues are not on the good side.
I got Juan bringing out the actuary tables. Just it doesn't sound like a good investment on my part. There, I am a graduate of that fine university, and they taught me the value of a dollar.
Yeah.
Sounds well. One of my nephews that's there texted me during the week with something. He got a letter. He got his Uncle Dave. You ever heard of? And it was whatever it is, some kind of honor thing. And look, again, I don't know, but let me say this right up front. I'm not disparaging anything. Here's my reaction to everything. It's something I never really heard of, and my text responding back to him was, never heard of it. If they're asking for money, run.
Yeah.
Right? And he sent me back the letter, and I'm like, there you go. Now look, it's not as much as that, obviously. And if it's something you want to do, and look, man, they get you on that stuff. Just like, did you buy? So we all got our high school rings, right? You bought a high school ring.
I did.
I bought a high school ring. Do you even know where it is?
No, I did until probably about 6 or 7 years ago.
Yeah, well, okay.
I
But you know
don't
what I'm saying?
where it is anymore.
Okay. So college ring. Did you get a college ring?
No.
Okay, now I almost didn't. And I ended up getting a cheap one. Like I think it was made of palladium. I want to say it's palladium. Is that like I don't even know what it was. Look, silver, whatever. I probably wore that thing for a month, you know. But you do, it's one of those things that you want to jump on and be part of the,
Yeah, I bought both my sons have high school rings, and neither has college, but I think they both wore it a total of 1 time each.
Look, man. And I got to be honest. And again, sometimes you say not to hurt anybody's feelings, not to hurt anybody's feelings.
Yeah, you do you. You want a ring,
But
you get your ring.
You're an adult man, unless you won a championship,
Right.
unless you were like on the starting squad and you won a championship. I don't think you need to be wearing a college ring into your 30s.
No.
I just don't. I get it. Everybody has their own thing, right? But there you go. So yeah, I'm gonna have to look into that. We'll sign up for the lifetime.
Yeah, you go ahead and get that. I'll forward it. I thought about telling them to contact you.
Man, should have. I had a dad, me, and I got a kid there. Now we'll see.
Well, good. I'll go ahead. Maybe you could get probably for about $1,000. You could enroll your dad posthumously, and you, your son, and your wife.
All of us, man.
Could be lifetime members. Might get a brick or something for that.
The extended. That's the other good ones. The bricks. The bricks. Give me a brick. And it sounds like, oh, it's so permanent. I'm going to buy a brick. They have them in the quadrangle there. I mean, I've driven around looking down, and I actually recognize some of the folks who have bricks.
Like this hospital that I used to work at, you could buy a brick over there for a significant amount of money. Yeah, buy a brick when your child's born here in this. Well, about 10, 12 years ago, that hospital moved. I assure you, if I go walk around in that old place, those bricks are probably still there where, the bricks didn't go with them.
Well, I told you.
Nor do I think I'm sure they didn't redo bricks.
They didn't redo bricks because that costs money. They ain't doing that. They and we may have, because this is, I think, the 104th episode of this podcast, which is something interesting. And I think I may have said this before, but I can't remember because it's been 17 years, however long we've been doing this. But moving with that thing with the bricks, we bought a brick at the zoo, the Houston Zoo, for my kids. We used to always be at the zoo. That was like our favorite place, and we wanted to support it, whatever. So we bought my son, and then it just turned out. By the time we bought the brick, I don't even know. I don't even know that we went to the zoo after it, right? But we paid money, and it was. I don't know. We were stupid. I don't know what we paid, but it wasn't insignificant. It was a few $100s. But we're
Yeah.
like, the zoo's been a big part of whatever. And then they didn't move the zoo, but they decided to expand some stuff, and they were tearing up the area where all of our,
Jackhammering your brick.
and dude, some people had to go get. I mean, they raised a stink like with and then they did a thing where you could go get your brick. So they had to painstakingly pull up the bricks, and this was during COVID. This was right at the beginning of COVID. So we had an appointment. Had to go.
No, I don't want to come get my brick. I want you to have my brick on display.
That's right. That's what I signed up for. I signed up to have our brick on display, and it's on my back patio right now. So, drove up to get it.
Our friend Sid, who when I was a roommate, didn't necessarily always have rent money on time. Did somehow find money to have a brick at the aquarium in New Orleans.
While he was doing that?
Oh yeah.
Didn't have rent money, but he had aquarium money. I didn't know that the aquarium was that big a part of his life. I mean, he was a deep guy. He was a deep and a shout out to him, man. He may have figured it out long before any of us. You know what I'm saying? Some people you scratch your head your entire life saying, I don't know how that guy does what he does. But he's the guy we talked about when I was
he's still doing it.
When I was 20, maybe 20 years old, 21 years old, around the radio station, give or take. And I used to think, man, that guy's got it together. That's the coolest guy. He was probably 28 years old when he was doing that, man. It's like, all right.
10 years to get a degree in general studies. Married to a doctor.
It's the way to do it. Hey, man. And a doctor.
Yeah. No chiropractor.
Make an appointment kind of doctor. We'll be seeing you, and we're talking about jobs and stuff. So I have recently been having to put a few things together. Just I'm not applying for, I'm doing what I do, but I had to put a resume together. All right. For I got to, and we talked about that before. Haven't done a resume in forever, man. And it's just a painful process. It made me realize, like, I go back and I have to pull up, and thankfully I've got, files saved. And it's like, I pull up a resume from, and I don't know, 10, 15
I like to go back
ago.
and read my old ones.
Oh, they're so full of it, huh?
Right. To see the things that I thought was valuable.
Oh, yeah. It was exactly. And I told my wife, like, so this thing, I got to do it for the reason I got to do it. And they got all these formats and all these whatever. And my attitude is, I'm going to put out a resume that looks like a government document. I mean, zero fat. Like, here it is.
Curriculum vitae.
Yeah. That's what you call it when you don't want to say resume. Curriculum, my CV. But that's what I said. I'm just, I'm not doing all the fancy indentions and the,
Right. I used to tell people all the time, I said, you want to hear about some creative writing? Let me read you my resume and tell you what those things really mean.
Yeah. And if you're around long enough, man, I mean, that's the thing too. You go back and look at resumes over time. And when all the experience you had was what you're doing now, and maybe a couple of other things, you made those things look like,
all right.
Man, I am the greatest thing since sliced bread. I run this place. I just, I'm so creative and so blah, blah. And then later on you go like, man, I can't believe you spent, how'd I get 7 bullet points out of that job? Like,
I'd have stuff in times and, when looking for jobs where it's like, this thing requires a cover letter. Nah, I'm passing on that. I'm not applying for that. Too much effort.
Cover letters are fun. It's like, what you want the cover letter to say, right? What do you want? Just you want facts. You want to hear, which kind of gets into, we were talking before about artificial intelligence, the chat GPT?
Yeah, I've not logged in or checked that out, but I've heard about people who have. There's a girl at LSU who is, she's pretty widely known. She's a gymnast and like the highest paid student athlete from NIL in the country. She had a big social media following. Apparently some AI company that can help you do college papers sponsored a post, so she endorsed them. So the university had to come out with all kind of stuff.
They're not going to be able to stop it. It's now here's the deal too. And here's why the colleges do this to themselves, and just the way academics write and the way just higher education in general. Because if you read a lot of this, it's just junk. Like, stuff that's written, it's not so much like lawyers speak, but it's like people don't really talk that way, but they write that way. And so if you put in stuff to this chat thing, it'll spit out something that sounds like a dang college professor or somebody who wants to be a college professor, or you know what I'm saying? It's just I will endeavor to, and if you just do like retry, it'll do something different. So it's going to be just like how you fought. They used to make us add up stuff, guys, and you really should understand basic math. But a calculator's a calculator. You're always gonna use a calculator.
You lean on that.
Research used to be about, man, we had to go to the stupid library. We had to go check
bibliography.
Oh my God, you had to pull out, you had to get the book, hope it was there, because that was the other thing. Hope you wasn't a bunch of people doing a project on the same thing, because they got to the books before you. That's why there were some books you couldn't take out of the library. So if you couldn't take a book out of the library, what you had to do? You had to go to the copy machine, right? With your dimes. I still remember stacks of dimes for copying stuff.
And heaven forbid that stack of papers falls and you didn't get to staple it. Now they're all scattered all over, out of order.
Well, this was what life was like for us. And then, Google and that stuff comes along. And you can pull up whatever it is. You can do searches. So it just evolves over time. And I don't know. I don't think it's going to change everything in the next like 2 or 3 years. But yeah, you see it coming. I mean, you see it. And that's why Google and these companies are going hard at trying to keep this stuff down, because more and more people.
Right.
I don't know that it's an alternative to Google, but it's becoming a lot of young folks.
But it's a hell of a lot quicker.
First, I want to say you can even ask it for sources. You know what I'm saying? Like you can say, hey, write me a 1-page paper that talks about blah, 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 blah with sources. Man, it is. So we have to find out different ways to see if people can think. And look, I don't feel bad for professors. I don't feel bad for I don't feel bad for any of these people. Everybody has to adjust. And if, just like math teachers had to adjust to, all right, everybody's got calculators now, and what's usable, what's absolutely important that you can't use a calculator for, what is. Same thing with research papers. You've had to accept the fact that it's going to be online stuff. Yeah. Same thing here. Hey, suck it up, Buttercup. But,
so have you pulled stuff from it though? Have you gotten that deep into it just to see what it could generate?
Yeah, generates. It's okay. Yeah, but it's actually it's scary how easy it is to use. It just is.
I've talked to people who just played around with it a few months back when it was, I don't know, I guess first making the rounds, and he'd say, write a poem about such and such, and it basically, within seconds cranks it out.
Well,
and that is all original, where it's not just like a database of, here's my catalog of poems about, flowers.
We're dealing with stuff right now that, in say 5 years will probably seem very archaic, but right now it really is. And what I can see, especially for papers, because the hard part about writing papers, and trust me, take it from somebody who writes columns all the time. The hard part about writing it is, well, you want to know the point you want to make. You got to have a story to tell,
right.
But it's just getting into the story. It's just sort of getting into, how do you go from blank sheet to, all right, I sort of got you. Now let me make my points. And that's what I see a lot of people going to use this for. It just puts a skeleton up there of, all right. And you got to tweak it. I'm telling you, it's going to be, I'm sure college students are always ahead of us on this kind of stuff. So I'm sure it's everywhere. Everybody's, but yeah, you just do it. And it's just like when you were Googling stuff, even if you actually quote unquote did the research yourself, you could use Google to find the sources, right? You just, it just took away a lot of the legwork. So, but look, while we're doing this, while we're talking about advanced AI and how smart everything is, the 16th largest bank in the country failed.
Wow.
Yesterday. Okay. Failed yesterday. And I know a little bit about that world, nothing about this. It's funny, the people that reach out to me that say, man, what's going on with I don't bank with it. So those of you that don't pay attention to that kind of stuff, it's a Silicon Valley Bank, SVB. And I didn't realize they were the 16th largest bank in the country. Pretty sizable operation. Now it kind of skews a little bit because like the four biggest banks in the country are just gargantuan. Just hard to explain how big those banks are. And then it drops off at number five, still big, five, six, seven. They're still very big, but you basically got four massive monstrosities and the rest. And this was, one of those. But supposedly the smart people, right? Supposedly it's Silicon Valley, y'all. It's all the geniuses, all the
What
and
cause? I mean,
um
what happens that makes that
here
happen?
in a nutshell, and again, let me say this up front. This is not my part of the business. I know a little bit, but all along, y'all, we've been saying, you probably can't print trillions of dollars out of thin air. Just basically you're making stuff up and then drop money out of the sky on people and places and stuff. So that's why all the deposits in banks went sky high the last few years. It wasn't that the economy took off. It wasn't that anything was happening. They just
Right.
printed.
People had more. Yeah.
They just
cash.
printed trillions of dollars. Okay. So that ends up there. Well, when a bank gets deposits, it has to do something with it. Right. Because that's the weird thing with banking. Yeah, like a loan, right, to a bank is actually an asset. That's something you want.
Right. That's what they're making income off of.
A deposit is a liability. It's something because you have to do something with it. So you can't loan it all out. You can't do whatever. So they buy government, like whether it's treasuries, whether it's, again, I'm not, this keeping very, very simple.
Right. In some instance, a bank's, a bank invests your money in assets so that the bank can make money.
They need to make enough money to pay you your money. Okay. Yeah. That's how, and in a perfect world, it's loans. That's when things are growing. Companies borrow money, right? You charge them interest. The bank has, they make more interest than they pay in deposits. That's how it works. That's how it's supposed to be. All right. And for the most part, it is. And then you have, again, when you start monkeying with the system on a big, that's what this is. They're going to come up with all kinds of, again, remember our mantra to you guys, everybody's lying. Everybody's lying. So what happens is, you can't print money forever and not have to start raising interest rates because you got to bring inflation down. We've been talking about this for inflation's killing everybody. And now they want to talk like, oh, at least it's not 8.5%, 9% anymore, which is sort of a lie because some products still are out there, but it's still sky high. And societies break down when inflation takes off. Like it just does. When regular people literally can't afford things anymore, things get really bad really fast. So they've been raising rates and trying to slow down. They got to try to bring down inflation. Well, while that's happening, some of these securities that the banks have invested in are worth far less. So again, it's kind of it's not that complicated, but more than we want to get into right here. So that's what's happening. There's a cause and effect. As interest rates go higher.
In a simple way, I guess that a lot of people would understand. If you've got a 401k, and today your 401k was worth, for round numbers, $10,000, and tomorrow, because the market fluctuations in the market, you didn't do anything, but now your 401k is worth $8,000.
Right. And
so the exact same thing is valued less.
It's only worth that if you pull it out today, right? I mean, that's the right. So yeah, on paper it's that, but hang in there. Okay. So that's what is going on here. Now, I've read some pretty funny people pointing out that, wow, what a bunch of geniuses are running this bank, because the world can see what's happening with interest rates, and yet they were apparently caught flat-footed. And what happens is a lot of banks, or a lot of these people anyway, have losses on the books. So like they have stuff that's supposed to be valued at a certain amount, but it's not really worth that out in the, if you got it. And they had a situation where they had to sell some of their investments for operations.
At a loss.
And they took a big hit. And then people that weren't paying attention looked around and said, uh-oh. And that's not a good business for uh-oh. When people get worried about, when people start going, uh-oh, it's like A Wonderful Life, bro. It's a run. And now here's the thing. And this is where you want to put people in jail. In fact, you want to dig basements beneath the jail, okay? Because the president, I'll pull that up right now. And again, it's one of these people are sending this stuff all over the place today. But a buddy of mine sent me this about how no So all the analysts out there, nobody saw it coming. So nobody was saying, hey, keep an eye on SVB. You know,
Mm-hmm.
they got some problems. It was all nobody had it rated as a sell. Nobody had it rated as a, you might want to keep your eye on it. But you know who did see it coming? 12 days ago. The CEO sold 11% of his holdings. The CFO sold 32% of his holdings. And the chief marketing officer sold 28% of his holdings. So
So apparently, if you've got the C in your title at that bank, you were
you,
doing all right.
you were doing all right, and you knew a little bit to tap out. So we're going to see
Mm.
what happens there. But how it affects everybody else now is all the normal liars are on TV, and they're basically. And here's the other thing, guys. For those of you that just have, for most of the world, okay, you got your money in the bank. It's FDIC insured,
Right, it's
okay,
insured.
for whatever the limits, and even the businesses. I think right now it's like 250. They're throwing out the 250 the 250 number. So for most of the world, you're covered, right? But some of these places, you know, companies and people put a bunch of money
Mm-hmm.
beyond what is quote unquote FDIC insured. And I got news for you, y'all. That's supposed to be risk. If you invest, if you put more money than what is insured, you're
Mm-hmm.
basically betting. You're basically betting on the financial health of the company. That's why a lot of people spread their money around. You don't want
Right.
to, right? And I want to say I was reading some stuff that said something like 97% of the total deposits in this bank are beyond FDIC.
Well,
It's a
something that I
it's a
heard that they
major
said
hit.
that, because it's Silicon Valley and a lot of the businesses in that area, they got a high number of venture capitalists uh, who are, I guess, used to investing in risk.
Hmm.
But so that those guys are going to lose a lot of money from this failure.
Well, what's not going to, well, I hope so. And I don't wish anything bad on anybody because what's going to happen now, what they're going to be doing come Monday is they're going to try to say that the U.S. taxpayer, me and you and everybody else out there, the person with $150 in your South Lafourche Bank and Trust account right
Mm-hmm.
now, or hang on, give me some love to Synergy and South Louisiana Bank and said, I'm sorry if I forget all the banks down there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The person with, a few $100, couple $1,000s in there. Yeah. They want y'all,
Mm-hmm.
right, via whatever to pay off the deposits of, you know, dude, I read something a while ago. There are 1,500. I got to get this right. Hang on a sec here. I think I might even sent it to you. There are 1,500 green. What's it called?
Let's see.
Here we go. 1,500 climate change tech companies were banking with this bank. 1,500 climate change tech companies. First of all, I don't know that I can name you a climate change tech. I mean, yeah, they must exist. Would you think there are 1,500 of them in the world?
Yeah, no.
What they're going to try to do, and by the time this airs, you're probably going to see this on Monday. What they're going to try to do is scare the world. They're going to lie. They're going to scare the world. We have to step in, and you have to bail these people out. These really smart people. You know what else I heard? I don't know if it's true, but it's too classic not to be true. Uh, I don't know if he's still called the Prince. Harry, Prince Harry?
Uh-huh. He's in
Most of
that.
his money's in that bank.
Nice.
That dude's just been knocking it out the park with good decisions lately. Right? So I don't know that it's true.
So he's the investor formerly known as Prince.
Formerly known as Prince. But he put his own personal money in there. So there you go, y'all. The world is it happens. Look,
It's a scary place.
And you knew SVB Bank was in trouble when about a month or so ago Jim Cramer was on TV pumping it up, saying
I heard that.
it's gonna go up. It's got still got room for growth. That's a sign to get out.
So he'll be crying again this week, probably.
Maybe so. If he is, we'll talk about it. We so before we came over, just chatting. So it's funny how neighborhoods they turn over, right? All of a sudden, we moved here just about 20 years ago. We were the young family. My kids were, 2 and 4, or whatever they were. And now, the adults, right? So I have a handful of neighbors who are still around, but everybody gets older, and neighbors turn young. I mean, like, my goodness, it's like all of a sudden we got kids everywhere, and a couple of houses that are for sale right now. And one of them is right across from you go down my driveway and our drive is the street and then the driveway. So the neighbor that the house I see the most, right? Besides my neighbor here that's got we share a fence
Right,
with.
your line of vision.
My line of vision. So that house is for sale. They just did a bunch of work on it. That house is for sale. So they got this for sale sign out in the front yard, and you just see. And my wife would tell me you just see the cars come and stop and do a visit. And that's when you always try. And I don't know that this is right or wrong, guys, but I guarantee you do it too. Man, I'm looking through the window. Who's that?
You want to influence or disinfluence, if that's a
Does
word.
that look like somebody I want to live near? Let me see.
Right.
Let me see. And that depends on what I'm going to walk out in and what I'm going to, the body language I'm going to show in my driveway. There's some you want to.
They look nice. You get a big friendly wave.
Oh, you want to walk out there with a cup of coffee? Say, howdy, how you doing?
Can I get you something?
There's others you walk around, you keep your head down, you clean a gun in the driveway.
Yep. I walk out with no shirt and underwear. Pull up my lawn chair.
That's the sad part of that. That might backfire. That might be like, oh man, is that kind of neighborhood? Bro, we want to live here. We want to live here. You might be scaring away the wrong kind of people. But so we'll see. We'll see. They got a lot of people looking at it today. So I might have to do monitor. Maybe look at the camera and see like who do you bring in here?
Do you know the neighbor?
I did. I mean, they moved out a few years ago, and she kept the house, and then she leased it for a while. But
just go and see. You could really inject yourself in there if they're doing an open house or something, and you just go hang out.
Well, yeah. I mean, my wife even
see somebody you don't like there. It's like, I wonder if this house has plumbing like ours right across the street, or plumbing problems.
And it was one of these houses that were built back when, I guess this was a thing, young families. All the bedrooms are upstairs. All right. That's a design choice that works in young families, right? Because, young families, you want all your kids on the same floor with you. You want, dude, you start getting old, more and more like.
Well, I have, we have 2 bedrooms upstairs, and I'm upstairs now, and I make the trip up here once a week for the podcast. And that's about as often as I come upstairs. And the last house we bought, I swore I wouldn't get stairs because I hated walking up the stairs. And I swore I wouldn't buy another one that had stairs.
You think it's a joke until it's not a joke. Because I grew up thinking, man, 2-story houses. Dude,
oh yeah, rich. Man,
you got a house on top of another house.
Right.
That's amazing.
Man, vacuuming stairs is a pain enough to make you not want to do it.
Well, I don't. Thanks. Thank God my wife does. Yeah. Oh, she and I also feel bad about feeling bad now too, and I literally do, because we were supposed to started yesterday and then today do some all right. We got to just gut some stuff. We got to get rid of some things. I'm taking pictures like having her text neighbors. Hey, you want this? You want this? We got a drum kit in our game room, an electric drum kit. It was, I don't want to say top of the line, but it was very nice when it was about 8 years ago. I promise you that drum kit is about 8 years old. I guarantee you it hasn't been played 20 times in 8 years. It's one of those.
And it ain't cheap. We had one. It's not cheap.
So we offered it to some neighbors, and they're going to take it. We
have a hoverboard and some other riding vehicle that's out in front of my house right now because we cleaned the garage this morning.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah. So,
and that's what we're going to donate it. Then it's, where's the charging cords for it? Yeah. Like I know.
And I got a treadmill up here. I got to try to get, and I guarantee you that treadmill probably needs a $35 fuse, and it's a great treadmill. It hasn't been used in 6 years, 7 years, but the room is big enough that it's in a corner, right? It's like a piece of furniture. Yeah. And you realize we should move some things around. Why we still have that treadmill here? You know why? Because it's big and heavy, and somebody's got to take that thing down the stairs. So anyway, I got sick. I got sick on a day that we were supposed to be doing all the.
Let her go through it.
Well, she went through a big guest closet and came down yesterday with. I didn't realize we had so many suitcases. A suitcase is a hard thing to throw away. It really is. You just kind of figure like, well, we might need it. We might need. She came down with like 5 suitcases yesterday. It's like, oh, I guess we don't. I guess we don't. And one of them was a monogram suitcase for me. Like, I guess it was a gift from one of the companies over the years. But it was sort of like, and then instinct is like, oh, I can't throw that away. It's got my initials on it, right? And then you realize I didn't even know I had it. It's sitting in the back of a closet. So if you're driving around Houston in the next coming month and you see a homeless guy under one of the overpasses with a
Dude,
red DMM bag, that's it. Yeah, what you gonna do? Hey, we didn't talk about what because we've got a few minutes before we get out of here. How'd the meet go? You were
oh, good, good. Yeah.
last we left.
I was there. Her goal was to finish in the top 20 in her main events, which are her backstroke events, and she came out 12th in both of them.
Nice.
So that's out of this is like a regional meet. They call it sectionals, but I think there's 4 regions in the country. So there are over 1,000 swimmers at this event, and I think about 100 teams represented. So yeah, that was the biggest meet she swam in. The odd thing for me is some of these things, they've got people like in their late 20s and early 30s swimming, who I guess are trying to get a time for Olympic trials and stuff.
But I mean, they're swimming at the same time as the high schoolers.
Yeah.
But they can't
It's like
be
15 and up. That's I just
15 and up. Wow.
yeah.
Oh,
Like,
so you could have got in there.
right. I could have. I wouldn't have got out, but a kid somehow dislocated his shoulder at the end of the race.
Swimming.
Yeah. And I don't know if he had a bad shoulder, if he just tried to lunge to, but where they finish is in the same place that they dive in, which means it's on the deep end of the pool. You go on the other end, it's 3 feet. To get this kid out was an ordeal. Well, I'm sitting there thinking, couldn't somebody just lift him up? But you couldn't get under him to lift him. So they got in there, like EMS people got in there with like a basket type stretcher, and struggled to get him in, and had to pull him across the pool to the shallow end to lift him out
because of a dislocated shoulder.
Yeah, and I'm sitting there, hey, dude, man up, you're swimming. You just get the ladder and pull yourself out with one hand.
Man, we are so old. We are so old because I don't know. I can't speak for what the guys are going through, but what if you'd have been by yourself?
Yeah.
Seriously, what if you're practicing and you dislocate your shoulder by yourself? I bet you figure out a way to get out that pool.
Yeah.
I bet the adrenaline kicks in. Like, hey,
yeah, just float on your back, kick till you get to the shallow end. Let somebody grab your hand.
You want to talk about pain? I had a kidney stone, son. Come on, man. Something we started the podcast talking about, man. I hope he's well. I would honestly say I don't think that's one of the first pool injuries, right? Dude,
because they have lifeguards at these events, and they didn't know what to do.
If you can hurt yourself swimming, that dude was destined to throw a shoulder, man. Destined to throw a shoulder. Maybe next time he can swim with a helmet on. Just don't hurt yourself, bro. That's the thing about the backstroke. I was always afraid of the backstroke, driving my head into the.
That's why they have those flags over the pool.
Yeah, but man, when I'm competing, I don't see anything. I just see flames. Yeah,
well, it's that color blur that goes over your head.
I say that.
From there, you should know how many strokes to take before you.
Yeah, quit. They didn't teach me that at the Cutoff Youth Center swimming lessons. Okay, they didn't teach me that.
Remember, I'm the guy who went off the diving board and landed on the edge because I was scared to swim.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, you did.
So backstroking was not even in my repertoire.
No, I'm still complaining about it all these years later. That's when I stopped. I did swimming lessons up to the point. I guess I was a junior lifeguard, and I had to pass this one more thing to become lifeguard or whatever the thing was. And I apparently couldn't get my frog kick, I guess it was. I don't know. And I just remember, I can't believe, looking back now, that some high school punk, she was a girl, so I always call her punk, but I call her something else. Couldn't get my kick right. And didn't pass me.
Because to save a life, you need to do a specific kick.
Yeah, because I really needed that frog kick. And it was a 2-day test or 3-day test, whatever it was, to become lifeguard certified. One of the tests was you had to like in your clothes, and I think we had to like tread water or swim around for like I don't know 30 minutes. And one of the people in my class, I know for a fact, couldn't have done that on her best day. No way. She wasn't there that day. And she got her like, and she got her. They
But let's
just
be real. You're in the community pool. You think you're gonna have to? I don't care. Yeah, what is there like a massive earthquake, and now you're saving everybody in the pool that you got to tread water for 30 minutes in your clothes before somebody else comes to help?
You ever did that? You ever have to take your pants off and make a life preserver out of your jeans?
Oh, blow them up?
Yeah, you ever did that?
No, no.
That's pretty
I've
lame.
seen.
I don't think that works, man. I mean, hey, don't get me wrong. If I'm floating in the Gulf of Mexico and
You're gonna try it.
I just happen to be wearing blue jeans, I guess I'm going to try that because you don't want to try to tread water out there. But yeah, I can never like, wait, I got to catch water. I got to catch air here and tie it here and blow air. Oh yeah, it was you know.
Yeah, and then you're letting air out.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. But there you go. So we're gonna letting air out. But the time to let the air out of this one, man. Let's see. Did we cover? Did we give America enough to
I
chew
think we
on
got
this
it
week?
all. The only little bit of tidbit information I'll share with you is if were a music fan in the I guess early 80s in the band Air Supply. I saw a picture of them the other day. One of the dudes got like a full sleeve tattoo or tattoo sleeve.
Air Supply.
Air Supply.
Those guys have to be 70s.
Yeah, I got to be up there. They played at Nichols one time. I met them. They were tools.
They were tools. Yeah, I think my wife used to like Air Supply. I mean, I don't know. They were big for a while, man.
Yeah,
They were big. They were big.
Some good
big
songs
news.
back in the ballad days.
A sleeve, a total. Well, David Lee Roth has a full sleeve.
Dude, that and a permanent smile on his face.
Yeah, man. Come on, guys. Go graceful. I like Sammy Hagar. I see Sammy Hagar all the time now. First of all, Sammy, he'll sell anything. He like, he got his own tequila, his own whatever. He's like, he got that realized. And Sammy ain't got no work done. Sammy is who he is. I
still like the meme that shows him and Bill Clinton side by side. They're the same age.
Same age. Yeah. Slightly different path. Different path. And he hasn't had nearly as many close associates kill themselves. So hey,
yeah. One.
On that note, let's push the button. Get on out of here. Y'all, you know how to reach us if you want to reach us besides just wherever you found us this time. It's Dave and Juan at protonmail.com. We do read them. We really do. So hit us up there if you want. And how else, Juan?
Yeah, social media, every place where you can hear a podcast, download a podcast. We're there if you want to watch us, subscribe to our YouTube channel, or as the kids say, mash that like button.
Mash that like button.
Mash that like button. Share it with your buddies.
Yeah, somebody sent me something this past. I guess I missed it last time. So John Allison, shout out John Allison, whoever that is. Something about Bayou Lafourche thing. All right, Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. They're running commercials on to eat down the bayou. Which, don't get me wrong, I fully support that. Especially if you want to go buy a etouffee to go, hey, Dave and Juan's Wiener Spaghetti, still there, dude. I mean, knock yourself out. But it makes it look like there's so many different restaurants and stuff. Yeah. You can just drive down the road and just eat it all.
45 minutes from south of New Orleans.
You might want to call ahead.
Yeah. I've done spots for them in the past years. So. Louisiana's Cajun Bayou.
Look at you, man. I'm just glad that you get paid to sound like that. I get up in front of groups and I got to try hard to fight it. But hey, y'all, listen, we tell you every week, and we mean it every week, and especially this week because, banks are failing.
That's right. The only thing in your life that's not going to fail for sure is this.
Man, look.
Right here.
Look. Hey, so, look, America, again, you're welcome. But, yeah, we tell you every week. It's not a suggestion. Not a hint.
Not a request.
I don't even think we implied it. It is a
freaking mandate, man.
Mandate. Get out there and go for it, y'all. Like Rocky when he looked at Mr. T. Go for it. Go for it. Try to have the best week of your life. Starts with the best hour of the week. You're welcome.
We just gave it to you.
All right. Get on out there. Make it a great day. Make it a great week. And, if it's fantastic, good. That's your new baseline. If it's not a great week, you know what?
Come back next one.
Wasn't supposed to be. It was supposed to use. Yeah, that was just like to reset. It was a reset. It was a reset to go.
You know, it's was probably better than last week anyway.
Hey,
So
you made it another week. That's the
could be
attitude.
worse. Could be worse.
If you didn't win, at least you learned. If you didn't win, at least you learned. All right. And come back next week. We'll talk about it, see how everything went. But okay. Until then, everybody, have a fantastic one. Love you, bro.
Back at you, dude. There's an old hole in the wall place called the Pastime that's been there for a gazillion years. And it's like a bar and a restaurant. Yeah, there's very little differentiation between the bar and the restaurant. But they say, hey, y'all want to go eat there? And I said, oh God, yeah, I hadn't had Pastime pizza in years. So we go, and one guy got a pizza, and the pizza was called the Everything. So he got that. He's taking the last bite of his first slice, and he realizes that it had shrimp on the pizza, and has been in his life highly allergic to shrimp.
Oh.
He hadn't eaten shrimp in years, so he didn't know if it was gonna thing. But dude, I mean, you saw a man get scared.
They said everything.
Yeah,
They said everything.
I want to read that.
Thought you could tell me he found a Band-Aid on it.
No, but he was going. So I mean, within a minute, he was out of there. To go somewhere and get some.
I got to get an EpiPen. An EpiPen.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And I'm sitting there saying, "Look, bro, I hope you don't mind. I'm gonna finish my pizza.
I don't want you to die, but I paid for this.
But right, this is good. I hadn't had it in a while. And if you're not coming back, we're gonna take the rest of your pizza to go to give it to the people at the office. He's all right though."